Are you looking to align with your soul desires, even your life purpose? Welcome to this episode, Reviving Your Inner Wisdom, a woman's journey home through human design, psychovitality, and astrology. This is a great episode, and I can't wait to dive in. The first step is building that self-awareness. Understanding what speaks to you on a soul level and utilizing it in your life. We are all different. We have different strengths, different weaknesses, and knowing there is an important factor of doing these things for yourself on a daily basis. So before we really dive into the tools of human design, psychovitality, and astrology, it's creating a toolkit of these things that you can always come home to. I'm someone that I like to have a variety of tools in my toolkit because we're cyclical beings and our energy changes. What we want to do changes. And so some things that are really important to me are journaling, meditation, talking it out. One of my favorite things to do right now is going for walks and talking it out. I find that my inner being or my intuition is soft. It's very softly spoken. And sometimes it takes having a conversation with myself to really bring it out. If people look at me like I'm a little crazy, then that's on them. Because for me, the knowledge and the inspiration I'm getting on these walks are well worth this time for myself. Finding ways to tap into your creativity, whether that's writing, painting, drawing, connecting with your creativity is an awesome way to come home to yourself. And it helps you speak to that inner child. So think about what you crave to do that brings out your creativity. Something I've been doing is called the artist way. It is a way that I've really connected with what I want to be in this creative world. It has helped me get clear on where I want to put my energy and what I'm really grateful for. It's helped me simplify to understand the things that I truly want to create and embrace in this life. Other ways that you can bring more self-awareness and tap into your inner being is EFT, which is emotional freedom technique, breathwork, working with your dreams, having alone time for yourself, bath, hiking, and just ways that help you become present in the moment. I can't decide these tools for you. Only you can do that for yourself. So start a place where you can keep notes of things that really help you tap into yourself or things that you're wanting to try. Let's begin with that self-awareness. The next thing I'm going to talk about is understanding human design. Human design is a system that combines astrology, the I Ching, the Kabbalah, and other spiritual and scientific disciplines to create a unique blueprint for you. It is not something you have to live by, but is something that has truly helped me get back into alignment with my true self. And I'm going to break down those reasons and why coming up. Your human design chart reveals your energy type, your strategy, your authority, and other key aspects of your personality and your life path. By understanding your human design, you can make decisions that are in alignment with your true self and avoid unnecessary resistance. So let's dive in. What are some ways we can use human design on a foundational level to come home to ourselves? The first place that you should start is your not self theme. Each energy type has a not self theme, and ultimately, this is a guide in when you're unaligned with the true version of yourself. Each energy type also has a signature, the feeling that you're trying to go for within your energy type. The not self theme is how you feel when you're not honoring your design. It is what happens when we let our conditioning take over and when we do not use our authority to help us in decision making. So your signature and not self theme is how you can see if you need to realign yourself. Generators, when you feel satisfied, you're in alignment. That is what you're striving for. It's when frustration comes about, that's when you need to take a step back and see how you can get realigned with your true self. If you're a manifesting generator, you strive for satisfaction and freedom. When you're living with satisfaction and freedom, you are ultimately living within your design. When you start to feel frustration or anger, that is when you need to take a step back and get realigned with your true self. A manifester, you're looking for peace. when you are in alignment. And when anger arises, that's when you should take a step back and see what you need to do to get in realignment with yourself. And that's when you go to your toolkit and see how you can tap into your inner being. Now, projectors, they strive for success. And when that bitterness comes out, that gives them an opportunity to see how they can get in realignment. And lastly, the rare reflectors. Harmony is when they are living in their true signature. But when they are disappointed, that is an invitation from the universe to say, how can I get in realignment? Now, the best way we can get in realignment is using our inner authority within human design. And that is how we make decisions. And it's based on what centers are defined in our charts. We have been conditioned to use our minds to make decisions, but there are no direct connection to the motor centers of the heart, sacral, self, or root. Therefore, it doesn't have the power to move us forward in our manifestations. The mind is meant to process, not decide. So tap into your inner authority to make wiser decisions and elevate your intuition. If your inner authority is sacral, you're meant to follow your gut. You are born with a natural instinct that is meant to be responsive and not proactive. If you have an emotional or solar plexus, you're meant to be emotionally clear. You must seek emotional clarity before making any decision. Don't make rash decisions. If you have a splenic authority, trust your intuition. You are designed to make your decisions without hesitation before you get in your head. Learning how to connect with this intuitive sense is important for your decision making. If you have a self inner authority, you're meant to be true to yourself. You find yourself talking out decisions not to get others' input, but to find out how it makes you feel before taking action. If you have the heart or the ego authority, do what you want. You need to attune to your heart's desires, which is a personal, subjective process. If your heart's not in it, your answer is clear. Lastly, outer, none, or environmental. You are accessing intelligence. You must not be rushed in your decision making. You need to put yourself in a safe space that feels good and talk it out with trusted people. Another very important tool that propelled me into coming home to myself was my cycle. Using cycle vitality is a holistic approach to health and wellness that recognizes our cyclical nature our bodies and lives have within us. By understanding the natural rhythms of your menstrual cycle, you can optimize your energy, your creativity, and especially your productivity. By aligning your actions with your cycle, you can tap into your deepest reserves of power and vitality. I say you can make productivity your superpower. I began a detox in the beginning of my spiritual awakening and realized that getting off birth control was a huge step in coming home to myself. I realized all the things I would beat myself up about was divine wisdom in honoring my body. My symptoms disappeared, and I began this ultimate self-love journey of beginning to trust and honor the messages from my body. It is the true essence of coming home to yourself. I began to get my energy back, my health back, and understanding that I am not meant to do all the things all the time. No one is. This is the essence of self-care, and it is recognizing what your body needs. Remembering that our cycles are always changing. So while tracking can help give you insight, you also need to leave room for adjusting. One of the things I've wanted to bring onto the podcast is talking about how we can safely use natural birth controls. So stay tuned. It's coming soon. So let's talk about how I use my cycle and coming home to myself. For example, I've found out that I plan best during my follicular phase or spring. And I like to use the analogy of seasons because they align with it. You know, spring is when we plant seeds. It's the time where we're really trying to get clear on what we're trying to grow so that when it's time to flourish and grow, we already know what's been planted. The follicular phase starts anywhere from day number 4 to day number 7. This is where I meal plan. This is where I create content plan for my business and what intentions and goals I will begin to create for. Anytime I don't strategize before I start doing, I have so many ideas and I don't really get clear on what I'm trying to do. So this is a really important time for me to get clear on where my energy is going to be going. Because once summer or ovulation comes, that's when my energy rises. And so that can start around day number 14 up until day number 24. It only lasts 3 to 4 days. So I need to know ahead of time what content I'm going to be creating, when I can maybe hang out with some friends, what tasks around the house need to be done, because this is when I have energy to really put that effort in. This is a big, important piece of why I create my content around this time, is because I have more confidence. The fall, or the luteal, is broken down into 2 parts. The first part is when I can achieve so much in the work I do. It can start around day number 17 and last until day number 35. I want to get everything organized so I'm not overwhelmed right before my period and during my period. I can get clear what isn't serving me and I need to let it go. The second part is where I'm emotionally vulnerable, so I take a break of being influenced by social media. This is an important time for me to listen to my body, listen to my emotions, and take time for myself. When I do this, my inner knowing and my intuition speaks so much wisdom into my life. I feel like I work less and have more impact when I leave time to process these things. And lastly, we have winter or menstruation. It is the time you bleed, so it starts on the first day of your bleed. I know life must go on during this time, but I leave plenty of room for rest during this time. I review my home and work life so that I can get clear on my intentions when spring comes. That way, I'm ready to start strategizing. I avoid making plans if I can during this time, because when I do, my body tends to shut down. I tend to be more exhausted. I tend to have a lot less energy, and I avoid making plans if I can during this time, because when I do too much, my body tells me I'm doing too much. And so I don't like to push through past this point, because that's when I'm left in depletion and I burn out so quickly from my tasks. Understanding your cycle as a woman is truly important, and it's wisdom that I think every woman should understand. This isn't woo, this is your body. And so taking time to check in with your energy and what you're going through each day is really important, because a lot of us tend to push our bodies past what they're really capable of doing. And so many people end straight to burnout, have health issues, and the list goes on. So begin this beautiful relationship with understanding how your body operates. The last thing I'm just going to touch quickly on is exploring astrology. I like to talk about it on the very, very top layer of it, and I leave the intense information to the people around me that I trust. Astrology is a system that uses the position of the planets and other celestial bodies to reveal information to us about our personalities, life paths, and soul purpose. I use astrology to help me understand the energy coming up so that I can plan accordingly. I use the different zodiac signs and what they're doing in the sun sign to help determine what type of content I'm making. I use the full moon and new moon to help build my manifestations. So using astrology is a personal, subjective process, and I love it so much, and I hope to have more guests on about it so you can get into the nitty-gritty. Your natal chart reveals your sun sign, your moon sign, rising sign, and other key aspects. So by exploring your astrology, you can gain deeper insight to your unique strengths, challenges, and desires, and it does help you align with your soul's purpose. I use my astrology chart as a problem solver. So if I'm having a difficult area in my life, I tend to look at that house in my natal chart and seeing what's influencing it. I do have a free astrology cheat sheet that is very basic that helps you just understand the planets, the placements, the houses, and the zodiac signs. So I'll have all those links in the show notes. If you want to learn more about using your cycle, I have free and paid resources at karadempsey.com/cycle. Please check this out because this is something that will be life-changing in understanding how your energy rises and lowers throughout your cycle. Coming home to yourself is a journey that requires self-knowledge, self-compassion, and self-alignment. So by using tools like human design, psychovitality, and astrology, you can gain deeper insight into your true nature and align yourself with your soul desires. So take the time to explore these tools, trust your intuition, and remember that you are worthy of living a life that is in alignment with your deepest desires. Thank you so much for joining me this week. If this was your first time, welcome. And if you've joined me for previous episodes, thank you so much for coming back. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe. I have some amazing interviews with some healing practitioners to teach you all about these tools. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to like and share with a friend. Those few seconds make a huge impact on my show, and I'd be grateful for the support. If you want to learn more, check the show notes and all the links mentioned at karendempsey.com/79. Thanks for being here, and we'll chat soon.